この番組はご覧のスポンサーの提供でお送りします。Alrighty, welcome everyone. I'm Teeaboo and I am here for Ousama ranking episode 16. I am also here to fix some shit. Fix a little bit of stuff. All things considered, this week so far has been a little bit of a I'll let this caster take it away. It's a disaster. Monday was bad. Tuesday was great. We read Oyasumi Putput. It was wonderful. Wednesday was bad. I missed a lot of things this week, and some of them were in my control, and some of them were out of my control. But today, I'm going to catch up. I'm also running on about 4 hours of sleep, and a banana, and a dream, and that's all I've got, and that's all I need. The hero might not need to be strong, but this hero needs to be awake, and so I'm also running on like a quarter of a Provigil. I don't like taking Provigil frequently. It do be messing with my head, and I do get side effects from it, so I haven't taken one in months and months, but I really needed to be awake today, and so I am fucking awake today with the help of chemicals. Would not recommend. In no way am I recommending that to you, just letting you know what's up. And if I seem extra chatty or a little bit off, that's why. I'm using a, it's not even a stimulant technically, it's like a eugeroic or something, a wakefulness inducer in order to be awake and make good content, okay? Okay, so that's where we're at, and we just finished last week. We watched episode 15 of Ousama Ranking, where we sort of gathered ourselves after the big fight in the courtyard, met up with Boji and Kage and Healing and Dorshi and Mitsumata and all sorts of other little players in this little game, and began to talk about the entrance to the underworld, where Domas is currently heading. And Boji got real scared because he doesn't want to face Domas. Domas is somebody who he trusted, who betrayed him. It's really tough and awkward to face him. If you've ever had the situation where, like, you've been in a conflict with somebody, you've gotten into a fight, and the fight's over, but you haven't necessarily resolved the underlying issue, and you want to be in contact with them again, but you don't know how, or, like, you're going to an event and they're going to be there, and you're going to have to interact at some point, but you don't know how you're going to deal with that. That sort of uncertainty and fear is what settles into Boji in that moment. At least that's how I see it. But we proceed with the story, and we show that Hokuro and Domas have bitten off a little bit more than they can chew. As they approach the gate to the underworld, from the other side comes a large portion of the Knights of the Underworld, a bunch of Golden Knight boys. And they show up, and Domas holds his own for a while, does a little set himself up on a small staircase and prevent them from passing, and demonstrates that he is still, one-handed or not, a Sodo Masuta. Until things get a little bit out of hand and Desha himself steps out of the portal. This bad. As far as we can tell, kings are like so far beyond the power of everybody else. We've demonstrated that when we've seen Bose just thwack and utterly dominate like Dorshi or Bebin or any of these other humans, normal people. And part of that is, of course, because Bose is a giant, but Desha is big, and Desha is scary, and Desha has lightning powers. He's Desha. He is the second most powerful king in this world, which I think indicates that he's the second most powerful person. Maybe besides Oken, because Oken, can't become a king. If he could, maybe he could, but, this is bad. This is very bad, except while Desha says some things about, well, I'm taking advantage of the situation, his real goal is to chase down Miranjo, figure out what her whole deal is, and kill her, because she hopped into his kingdom and let a bunch of his prisoners go, and he's not pleased with that. So there's really no reason for him to be fighting us, or more aptly, for us to be fighting him. If we can do this properly, we could potentially, there's a world where we get Desha to help us, and his presence is actually a boon to us, because we'd love Miranjo to not be here too, to some extent at least. As long as we get to talk to her about what the fuck she's doing before she gets super dead, it would be great to know what the hell her deal is. So having the forces of the underworld and also a super powerful king who can fight off people like maybe Oken. I mean, we saw him debilitate him for a while with a lightning strike from who knows how far away. That would be very nice for us. That would be very nice. As it stands right now, we are facing off with Dessa, and we have to communicate that now. And this is a pretty crucial moment, I think, because if we just go in and start like, we can fight this guy together, we're all gonna die. If we can actually talk to him and express that our goals and your goals are not mutually exclusive. In fact, in some ways they are aligned. We'd love to work together with you, sir. Please don't obliterate us with lightning. That would be lovely. Then maybe we can actually get some stuff done here. Beyond that, I don't know what else is going to go down in this story. We've sort of moved our attention away from the Daida in the place sort of thing. There are a bunch of moving pieces that I don't know what they're doing right now. Oken is currently restrained up above, with both Despa and the Lord Commander of the Knights of the whatever, being there and watching over him. So that might be okay, but it might not be okay. We'll see. And a bunch of other little things going on. But our focus in the story is right here outside the gates of the underworld. I'm looking at the first frame, where Boji, Hokuro, and Domas, along with Gigant, who is here, are just hanging out, staring down the grinning face of very, very wide death. And that's very scary. And I'm very excited to see what happens next. So let's go ahead and move on into it and watch Ousama Ranking episode 16. So, as I mentioned, I've got the episode up and ready. It is at 0 seconds. There will be 2 versions, picture-in-picture in the description, timer on YouTube, BBU timer to count you down, early access on Patreon. Check it out. It's in the description. Yes. Yes. Okay, and BBU timer. Miranjo. Miranjo da. None of them have heard of her. Yeah, naive fools. Okay. Does he know who Miranjo is? What is this? What is this? This is the past. Is this during Dad? Mom? What? What? Miranjo Onegai, not the boy? His mom died for him? And she seems to be a full person here. Or she could be not. Okay, we got the mirror. Using the mirror as a signal. Big orcs? Yeah. Giant orc archers. Whoa. Just like Kage's mom. She doesn't give a fuck. Signal, 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 signal. Oh, dude. Stay safe under here. Oh! Oh! Smiling and bracing herself for incoming impact. Yo! Oh, what a fucking scene. Mama? Oh, fuck. So that's what that is in the OP? What the fuck, Miranjo? Whoa! And betrayed herself. Does Boji fucking save her? The devil. The devil! The demon, the demon! So she made a deal. So she made a deal and was put into the mirror. Live forever, something like that. So when does this demon appear to people? Because we saw it as a kid when she was a little baby girl. Or maybe that's symbolic. Oh, buddy, No. I love that. I love that. I got to talk about it as the OP builds up. That moment where Boji is in turmoil, he smiles like don't worry, I got this. To like he's speaking to Kage specifically with that eye. Like no, I got this. And then he frowns, right? It's control. It's control over his emotions, right? He gained it last episode. He gained it last episode when he did that. Like when he had that panic attack, that's when he gained it. And so he has this memory of a deeply traumatic experience. He incorporates it, remembers it, gets this look on his face and everybody looks at him like, oh shit, are you okay, kid? Are you gonna freak out again? And then he smiles like, no, I got this, but I'm still serious. This is important. I love it. 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 Yeah, so that's that scene. Because I thought that was Oken related with like blood dropping. That's so sick. That's so sick. That's so sick. And Miranjo, the betrayer, being betrayed. Love it. Love it. Also, that was the best nailed emotional moment in the last like 3 episodes. So, all right, buddy. Royal Majesty. Hello. Hmm. He sure does. The karma between those two runs deep, and they're linked by the demon. I'm the only one who is a match for him. Okay, so will we stand for Gigan? He's our friend now. Yeah, Boji will stand for him. I'm not fucking incompetent anymore. He's my friend. Then you're in my way. Yeah. He associated with other criminals? Another fight between son and father. Oh, that's Oken. Clearly, he's a big boy. Oh. Oh, okay, so they're not orcs, they're gigantes. Oh, Jesus. So, yeah, so people hated racism. Well, it'll lure one enemy out. They're not monsters. Yeah, okay, the fact that they care about their children kind of makes them not monsters, boyo. Yeah, that's about to happen right now. So his criminal action was turning on his people. Turning on the people he'd been hired to fight for. And watching his people die. Oh, that guy too. Traps and tricks, the horrors of war, and his own people being slaughtered. Yeah, that's too much. Is it just desertion? Or does he freak out? Ah, there we go. There we go. Yeah, maybe we just let this go. Oh. Who is it? Who is it? Who is it? Is that Oken? I wonder. And so. All right, Boji, make your decision, kid. What do you think? Deserving of his fate? Letting the baby go? Or he slew it? Oh. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I understand, Dessa. I don't like it. Yeah, and he remembers that, of course. Yeah, he's choosing not to hurt him if he can help it. Oh. Oh. Did he just split lightning? Oh my god. Incompetent one. What are you doing? What? Did he just cut lightning? This my boy. I'm strong. Oh, he's gonna get Blood Knighty. Don't get Blood Knighty. Whoa. I might not be able to deal with that much. Ah! He doesn't have a sword. But Dessa won't attack an unarmed man? Oh, so that he can explain. You will only protect. Oh. Oh, fucking hell. Homies. Fine. What? Oh. Come in, come in. Can you hear me now? I'm currently facing your boy. Should I do this? Oh, he wants the secrets. You might die if you fight Boji, dude. Don't fight him. He's gonna tell him that Boji will kill him. Nani? Oh. Bose never sought the first place, even though he could have. So don't fight either of them. Don't do it. Yeah, not a good move. Fuck. Because Miranjo. Oh? That's an interesting game. I'm down. Because the demon is responsible for Oak and their potentially brother? Yeah. Yeah, no. Yeah, that makes sense. He won't. I'll fight you. Oh, you have a chance to fight. Sick. Because when he was there in that day. Yeah, he can't. Yeah, it's just awful. We did what we had to do. He has to let them take their fun. But it's not acceptable. We're no better than him. Now we bring it in precisely. He despises himself, too. Calling him a coward. Yeah, He knows it, though. Yeah, he's not gonna fight back because he believes it, too. Right on the money. First time we've heard Oken speak. And it's part of why Despa doesn't want to be one. Wow. He's gonna... Why is he Oken? I'll bet it's because of that. Wah. And he does. Oh. Oh, that's fucking sick. Doug. You are being enlisted. Make your decision. I will stand on my own, Boji. Thank you, little friend. Yeah. He's protected him a couple times. What do you think, Aegon? Hey, little guy. Don't... Oh! Fuck you, show. Fuck you, show. And we get into lighthearted now, yeah. Hey, wait, they don't have red eyes. Oh. Puppies. Oh, he didn't kill them. That was a good implication. He just took the bites. He's from the underworld. He knows what these are. Mate. Come on, release. 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 Sorry. Okay. Bye. Oh, yep, you're under my domain too. Just dripping blood, so sick. Yeah, you see what Death High is now. You see it now, right? Bye, Gigon. One look back. Oh. Oh. Dude, I mean, this is a non-character that just became a full character. That's so sick that they did that with fucking Gigon. The guy in the group who's literally just, he is the big man. Amazing. Amazing. Oh, Boji. Yeah, you just saved both their asses. Yeah, he can't face them. Oh, God. Such a head on this guy. Such a fucking skull. And again, maintain it. Indeed. Oh, girl. Great to show that somebody else delighting in that. Yeah, motherfucker. Oh. Oh, this is great. Sure. That's how you heal your own heart. This is how you heal your own heart. Yep. Remembering the good and the real honest goodness and the bad. You have to incorporate both. Push. Push. No, he's going to run. Wow, he can't do it. Yeah. It's so hard when you're really mad at someone and they're genuinely contrite. It's like, fuck. Damn it. All right, Boji, running boy. Yeah. Right. You need to heal your own heart, kiddo. E? What? Boji! Hey, you can go straight up surfaces, right? Vroom. Aww. Zew. This is not my mood! Ooh? I don't think he's even intending to do it, but he just changed the whole dynamic, right? Oh, it's so right. That's so right. Whee! That's crazy. Yeah. The look at him go, right? It's all my fault. Yes, it is. As long as I can watch him run. Ah. Here we go again. Hokuro. Okay. They just did the same thing, right? Dude, we start this episode with Boji's mom dying, and we end the episode with him laughing. Okendesa. Dardespa. Good question. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. He's just breaking his own body parts to get out of the ropes. That's not good at all. Ah! Okay. Look who's back. Oh, of course Miranja's met the demon before. She was there when Bose made his deal with the demon, right? Originally. Okay. I was thinking like I know there's a connection that I'm missing there somewhere. That's it. Got it. Ba 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 boom. I like this episode a lot. It feels like we hit our groove in this one. I really do feel like we hit our groove in this one again. There are some really, really lovely visual moments panning around Desha as he begins to call lightning. The scenes with Gigon, the entire mother sequence at the beginning is so powerful and so impactful. I think that the visual and flow of the episode is miles better. We had that one episode where it was a really significant lull and it didn't feel right, and then we've been steadily climbing back up, and here it feels like we're approaching where we were in Core 1 in terms of impressiveness, in terms of enjoyment, and in terms of the way that the storytelling seems to work together. I think that this episode did a great job of elucidating, of showing all this stuff. This flashback scene is brutal. Brutal. It's a rehash in large extent of the same emotional journey that we go on with the Kage and his mother journey. It's the same concept, right? A mother's love, protection, suicide. And this moment that's so deeply poignant of looking at the child and smiling and saying everything's going to be okay when this parent knows 100% that they are about to die. This is gonna be the last thing that their kid sees of them that they have control over. Because, of course, the last thing that Boji sees of her is her collapsing and him looking down into a pool of her blood. But the last conscious moment he experiences is her smiling and telling him that things will be okay. Fucking Joe. Miranjo sets this up. They are Gigantes archers, seemingly mercenaries, maybe? Potentially after the Desha War thing. Maybe something like that. I don't know. But she's hired them. She has a fucking dragon. What? And she is using mirrors, the mirror, in order to signal her forces. This is really cool. It tells us why the mirror is there, and it implies that in the moment of Miranjo being shot down, there's a deal made with that devil. We'll get into that in a second, but it implies that, like, the deal is somehow incorporating her into the mirror. And it's really interesting, in any case. Miranjo! She begs Miranjo to spare the child. Spare the child. Spare the child. And I don't think Miranjo's interested in killing the child. I think Miranjo just wants to kill her. But I don't know. I just don't know. Maybe she's down to kill both. But goddamn. The purest of sacrifice. The moment, the flashes. Stay right here, buddy. And the arrow is loose, and she smiles and braces herself for incoming death. And it's this moment, Boji in the center, isolated, confined, trapped inside what should be a comforting place. And there's no comfort here at all. The blood starts to pour, and it goes up to his little knees. Miranjo turns and looks. No remorse. Face set. And is taken through the chest by an enormous Gigante's arrow. And she is, at this point, a full person, right? He smiles, having done his thing. She falls, and Boji watches from under the corpse of his mother as a demon touches down for Miranjo to reach out to. And that's the last we see of it. But we know that a deal is made. Okay, so there are two ways that we've seen to interact with the demon. One is to seemingly go find the demon in his cave. That's what Miranjo and Bose did. Has that happened before or after this moment? I don't think it's possible to tell, because I don't know if the Miranjo in that moment is fully human or is a puppet or something, and I don't remember. I don't think she was in the mirror. I think it's before this moment, right? So things get set into motion in this moment. And probably the issue that Miranjo is having is that giant women can only bear one child, right? And so she wants him to have another child so that he can live forever, right? And so she needs to kill the current wife so that he can remarry and have a new child, which will become Daida, which will become the person who he can put his soul into or something. Jesus, what the fuck? So Boji remembers this deeply and powerful. I already talked this through in the OP, but I'm gonna rehash it. I have to. Goes through this deeply powerful emotional experience of remembering this, wipes his eyes, looks up, distraught, and smiles. And puts a smile on, and the smile is not for him, the smile is mostly for Kage, right? I got this. Boji. And then he sets himself and looks up to the matter at hand. That's a leader. That's a king. That's your boy, Boji. And Desha is there. Ooh, boy. Hoo, buddy. Oh, baby. Okay. Bose will get in my way. I need to fight him. I'm the only one who can be a match for him. Fair enough, but not necessarily true. Also, this Gigan guy, he is a criminal. Do you still want to protect him? Because, of course, Boji steps in to protect him. I love this whole sequence. It's really fucking good. It is also doing big fucking double duty for us now. Huge double duty. It's really great. Because it's telling Gigan's story, right? Okay, Gigan, big warrior guy, in the middle of a fight versus essentially his own people, sees the travesties committed by his mercenary brethren, cannot fathom, cannot compute, goes hog wild, right? Goes apeshit. Great, makes perfect sense. Essentially gets put down from that by the situation, and yeah, some brutality happens. But we're doing double duty. Maybe even quadruple duty, you could say, because this is past for Desha and Despa. But the big double duty that we're doing is we are giving character background for Oken, right? Because he's a character that right now in the present cannot speak. And from what we've seen, Desha and Despa do not speak of it. They just don't speak of it. This is like, okay, so I've complained in many shows, at many points, at many different times, about certain types of exposition. The main indicator for me that a piece of exposition is poorly thought through or is somewhat forced, and the thing that makes exposition drag and feel blech, is when two characters who should already know a piece of information express that piece of information to each other explicitly to show it to the audience, right? Telling each other about things that they should both already know. An example of that would be if Desha were just sitting around with Despa, if they were just on the phone, on the hand phone, and he's like, hey, so this Oken guy, we've met with him, or I'm sorry, hey, so this Gigan guy, we've met him before. He's the mercenary from back in the day who, we fought with, but then he went wild, and Despa is like, yes, that's him, that's that guy, he's like this. And it's like, okay, well, this is information that both of them know, they're just expressing it to each other for our purposes, this is dumb. But if they won't express it to themselves for our purposes, how do we get that information? How do we get the information, which is a lot, that we get about Prince Oken? How do we get his demeanor? How do we get his goals, his dreams? How do we get the way that he interacts with his, I think, brothers? How do we get his outlook on life? How do we get his perspective? How do we get who this guy is, who he is amongst his people, right? How do we get that? We get that by showing a different story where he just plays a role, where he plays a minor part, right? That's fucking so goddamn sick. It's so goddamn sick. It's so sick. It's great. It's really, really good. I like this as exposition a lot because it is doing double duty. We do the Oken story in this episode, right? We take a character who is not a character. He is big man in group who is big and scary. We start to turn him into a character in the previous episode where he makes a decision after being sort of saved by Boji and realizing that Boji is very, very strong, that he will be Boji's friend and he will fight for Boji. And that brings them down into the place. And I actually even made a little gripe about that. It was like, well, it seems like this Gigan guy's entire purpose was just to be a fast elevator for Boji and friends to get down here quickly. But that's not true anymore, because once he's in a situation where he has to face off with Desha, it allows us to dive into this historical incident and demonstrate so much about these other characters in the meantime. Because this story here, right here, it tells us about Desha, a lot about Desha. It tells us about Despa a lot. The fact that he is puking and throwing up at the atrocities he's witnessing at the end tells us exactly what kind of person he is, and in all likelihood, precisely why he doesn't want to be king. And he has no desire to be in a position where he has to make those calls. Desha is the one who's capable of making those decisions and capable of, to some extent, recognizing and interacting with the monster within and the ability to cause great harm while remaining a human being, essentially, himself, right? He's still a person. He's still got morals. He's still got a compass. He's just willing to do what it takes in certain circumstances. And that's a really cool, complicated character that we didn't really get from Desha before, right? What we had from Desha before was like, ha ha ha, this is my kingdom, you are incompetent. Yes, you could go talk to my brother, whatever. All right, I'm on a mission, I'm going to go kill Miranjo. Meh, 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 meh. Like, that's Desha at this point. I have lightning powers. And he's cool, and he's big, and he's scary, and he's ambitious, and all these things. But the idea of him as the kind of leader who is capable and willing to make seriously difficult decisions, to cause harm in order to prevent harm, and to do it in a way that is unfortunately justifiable, makes sense. It makes a lot of sense for this guy, and it fleshes him out as someone who is, yes, brutal, yes, awful in some ways, yes, capable of great violence and terrible atrocities, but those things might infringe upon our view of his morals, but they don't destroy it. They don't destroy it. He's got something to him, too. So, Gigan was a mercenary that I hired. And, of course, my father was hiring Gigante's mercenaries. And the father is so scary. He's like an abominable snowman type of guy, which is crazy. I can see where Desha got the mouth, obviously, clearly. But, Jesus, fuck. So, whipping babies, right? This is pretty straightforward. I don't think we need to go too deep on this. Physically abusing children for seemingly their own horrifying pleasure is bad, and I don't like it. And we associate with Gigan in this moment. Our feeling is what Gigan feels, right? And framing-wise and direction-wise, when you do a scene like this and you cut to a character face, you're giving us a touchstone, an emotional touchstone that demonstrates how the character is feeling, but also to some extent, it triggers your mirror neurons. When you see somebody feeling an experience, you empathize. Unless you're a sociopath or a psychopath, you empathize with them. You feel what they're feeling. Now, not to the same extent, and to different extents, depending on the way your brain is wired. But you cannot help but look at a face of somebody crying and be like, I know what crying feels like. Or look at the face of somebody who's watching a member of their species be fully abused and tortured for fun, and not be like, oh, that looks unfun. Are you sure doing this will lure the enemy out? And he explains, while they're standing next to Gigan, that Gigantes really care about their children, and if you fuck them up in front of them, they'll all rush you. Idiot. Fucking idiot. So, it works. They rush, and they fall. They fall into a sand pit. They fall into an oil trap. This is the same guy, right? Like, this guy, he's not the captain of the mercenaries at this point, I don't think, but that's the same mercenary guy, I think. But the other guy has black hair? I don't know. Maybe. And surrounded by turmoil and death and destruction, Gigan freaks out. He can't help it, as they're literally choking a baby and smiling. And so he starts crushing boys. And it's great. It's good. This is good. This is cathartic for us, but of course it's not acceptable behavior for a mercenary. He's a traitor. So they win the battle. Despa walks up. They all laugh. Ha, 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 ha. Blackout. Shing. And he walks away. And the mercenaries immediately stop. This is a hell of a moment here. This is a hell of a moment. I'm actually going to TV tropes this. Hold on. I'm going to TV tropes this because this incident, this thing, this idea of like someone being tortured and then stepping in and ending that violence by ending the person's life in order to like to actually to save them, honestly, right? Desha can't take this baby. I guess he could. So that's the thing that we talk about later. He could. He could have done what I thought he was going to do because it's a classic bait and switch. Every Disney movie has one of these, usually characters all tied up and somebody holds a sword over them and they're like, oh no, you're going to kill me. And then there's like an off screen shing. And then they cut back. It's like, oh, it's just ropes. Okay, we're free. And it's like, oh, yay, we did it. Woo. Could have done that. It's possible. And he could have taken the kid and walked away. But he couldn't have because all of the mercenaries would be like, fucking King Soft, right? He can't do it. And so by doing this, he doesn't say anything. He doesn't admonish them. He just ends the torture now. It's great. I'm going to TV tropes it. I don't know what to look for, but I'll find it. I promise. Killing someone being tortured. Ah. So this isn't quite it. The actual one would be kill the ones you love, or mercy kill. Those are the actual ones, the precise ones. But staking the loved one, I think, is actually close. And there's a bit of overlap with shoot the dog as two TV tropes articles. Staking the loved one is one of the occupational hazards of being a hunter of monsters, involves the death of your friends and family out of vengeance from the monsters that you hunt. But sometimes the monsters don't just kill your loved one, sometimes they get extra sadistic and turn them into one of your own. And so the protagonist has to be in the awful position of killing someone that they truly loved. This is in that realm for sure. And it is a subtrope of shoot the dog. And shoot the dog is on TV tropes more expressed than this, is when a character does an ambiguously amoral act because current circumstances make it the most pragmatic and logical thing to do. If the hero performs the job himself, he might even go so far as to hide it from the rest of the cast due to the risk of compromising his moral standards. And he might reply to their questions that he did what he had to do, or he might delegate it to the anti-hero or the lancer. It's actually really important that Desha does not delegate this task. Sort of Stark, sort of Stark-like. He goes and he cuts the head off himself, right? He kills himself, and that's really good. This is great. So yeah, and it's of course named after Old Yeller, where the protagonist shoots the dog in order to spare him from a miserable death from rabies. Hell yeah, great trope. Great trope, done to the nines here. Really effective, I think. Okay, and so we enter into this circumstance. Gigan goes after him, and Desha moves away. He does not get into conflict in that moment. Except for this. But that was war. And this whole scene is sick. Big fluid spin, big pull, super dope flashing Boji running through. I love the little whip to his sword, straight through the eye, grab it out of the sky, classic little turn out from the camera, and poof, Boji! So sick. Nani? And he goes and he turns away for a second. Zap, 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 zap. Oh, wait, please don't. Huh? And of course, Kage shows up. Hey, I don't want to fight you. This is my friend. Please don't take him away. He gets really mad. Chill. Talks to Despa. Hey, so this whole shit. Yeah, don't fight Boji. Don't do it. And he says, well, I can't back down, so I'll have to figure out something else. How about we send Boji against Bosse, kill Miranjo, and claim the demon's head? Question. Is this a figure of speech? Is this just saying, kill the demon? Or is this something else? Is the demon's head actually an artifact that we want, like something that we would like to have? I think so. But it could be either way, and it doesn't really matter at this point. Still, there's another additional goal. How it interacts with the other goals, I don't know yet. I just don't know. Maybe when we kill Daida Bosse, the demon will emerge like it did before. Maybe. But I don't know. when we've seen the demon at Bosse's deathbed, we've seen it in its own cave just chillin'. We've seen it appear at Miranjo's death as well. If we kill Bosse Daida, maybe the demon appears. But maybe it seems to like appear and offer a deal. This is a classic trope of demons and devils, right? In your dying moments, a creature appears to you and offers you a deal. I mean, it's even extended out into other stuff, like mysterious being X, who is sort of God but not God. In Saga of Tanya the Evil, same deal, right? Guy's about to die, appears to him, leaves him the opportunity to do something else, bye-bye, right? Happens all the time. It's a classic trope in Western literature and Eastern literature, both. The idea that he would appear on death to people maybe of significant power, right? Like, Miranjo is clearly of significant power. Bosse is clearly of significant power. But he doesn't appear to Boji's mom, right? He just doesn't appear. Why does the demon choose some people? The manipulable? The persuadable? Those who have evil already in their hearts? Maybe. Or just ambition, or maybe the demon just knows what pieces will be valuable for him on the chessboard and creating conflict in the world. But we don't know the demon's goals, and neither does anyone else in this world except maybe Miranjo. It's just a thing that exists and happens. But why? But why, demon? Why? And that smile, and that. Okay. There is an indication here, right? The smile of the demon, this moment where Desha, like, finally. The way I read this is like, yes, that is our goal, finally. If we saw the rest of his face, I could see like a half smile there, like a grim smile. And then it's Oken, right? Flash, flash, flash. Demon, Desha, Despa, Oken. So they have a grudge against this demon, beyond a grudge. I think, here's my prediction, I think Oken founded his Order of Knights, did something, was slain, and in his dying moments, a demon appeared and offered him a deal. Eternal life or something. Be unkillable as a warrior or something. And of course he took the deal. Or maybe it's more complicated, maybe he was forced into it or something crazy. But still. Heh, good plan. All right. We're taking Gigan with us. No, you can't have him. I'll fight you. He's my friend. He's joining the Order of the Underworld. So we get this flashback here. And we see the atrocity. These guys literally chilling on the bodies. This guy's fucking painting. They're drinking and stabbing them for fun and shit. It's just awful. And of course, Despa is fully breaking down. Oken is somber. And Desha is just staring into the fire. I need these mercenaries. I need them. I don't have a choice. Our father is worse. Our father is brutal and destructive and causing deep problems. Also, seems real interesting that every king who gets to a certain age seems to really get freaked the fuck out. We had King Bo do that, right? Like old King Bo. They know how to win. I can't afford to let them be demoralized. And here, this expresses specifically to us exactly why Desha did what he did. It is killing the dog. It is the necessity. It is doing the thing that needs to be done, even though it's deeply distasteful to him. And Despa agrees. It may be unavoidable, but it's no different than the atrocities he's committing. I can't fathom. He can't compute this monstrousness. He can't do it. I despise you for this, brother. And Oken reaches out to get in the way here. But Desha slams his fist down. Shut up. And the truth is, and Despa knows this, Desha, nobody hates Desha for this more than Desha. Shut up, shut up, shut up. I don't need you to tell me that. I at least realize how craven this is. And he gets one last blow in before he walks away. And Desha grimaces and sits down because it's true. Despa does understand, and we learn about Oken here. Despa does understand. Oken is a mediator. Oken stands in the middle of conflict. Oken looks to the future, raises his eyes above what is present, and looks to a better future. That your heartache is more than we can bear. And there it is, explicitly. You are bearing this heartache. It's more than Desha can bear, too, but he has to. And the crazy thing about horrifying things, about horrifying heartache, is that you can usually bear more than you think you can. To stop our brutal father, it's not craven, it's courageous. So I'm willing to be your yes man at any time. And I will guess here that desire to help Desha is what leads Oken to make his deal. If he does. Dancing around the fire. And he steps up. I'm certain that I can create the kind of disciplined, kind-hearted, and yet mighty order of knights which will live up to your expectations. Someday he, too, will be a member of my order of knights, and Desha remembers this. Oken looking to the future. You cannot refuse me. You're joining me. Will you hide behind this one's protection again? And Gigan says, no, I'll fight for myself. Thank you, little buddy, for being my friend. The little moment where he goes, heart, ooh, doggies. Desha doesn't kill them. He's familiar with them. I'm skipping a little bit faster. Little moment of seeing who Desha is, maybe. Seeing an element of a real king here. King shit, motherfucker! And here we are. Okay, so this is a rehash to some extent of the same struggle that we had with Domas and Hokuro before, but it goes differently. They are in deep, deep turmoil, of course. Boji also is, and he cannot. He can't. It's too much. It's just too much. He's been holding it back this whole time. He has to run away from it again, and they have to understand this moment. But I love this. Watching him run. Kage goes from, oh man, how do I cheer him up, to, holy shit, he's so fast. Oh my god, kid, you're so cool. Ah! And just changes the mood completely. Runs past him and starts playing, Boji, let's go, Boji, let's climb, let's go. And Boji gets distracted. And wants to be distracted, right? Lets himself be distracted. I think this is great parenting advice. I know that I give parenting advice too often for somebody who's not a parent, but, you know, it is what it is. I think this is great parenting advice. Distract your kids. Distract your kids from their emotions. Children under the age of like 4. We talked about this before with being able to regulate their emotions. Children under like 4, real hard time regulating their emotions. Like, impossible. Like, can't do it. Like, if they start crying, they're not going to stop crying until they find a reason to stop crying or they fall asleep or something. They're just fucked. Distract them. It works. If you can get them into a different zone, if you can get them to focus on something outside of themselves for a second, you win. You win. Because suddenly the mental state of being crying, it creates the mental state of being crying. When you're crying, it's hard to stop crying, right? Like, it's really hard. It doesn't happen. Even for adults, it's really hard. Once the waterworks have begun, they come right back. It's really hard. But if you can distract them, ooh, look at this. Ooh, what's this? Ooh, what's that? Ooh, do you see that over there? What is that? What's going on? Hey, chase me. Hey, let's race. Whoa, here we go. Whoa, we're flying. Whoa. If you can just get them, you'll have this moment where they go, and they'll still have fucking tears running down their face, but suddenly they're gonna be in a moment of like, ooh, dinosaurs, right? Like, whatever it is. Suddenly they're not thinking about the knee that they scraped 3 minutes ago or 20 minutes ago, right? Or they're not thinking about the fact that you didn't have strawberry jam and you only had grape, and they don't like grape and they only want strawberry. They're not thinking about that anymore. They don't give a fuck. They're thinking about dinosaurs. So while it's important to not always distract them, and it's important for children to feel their feelings, and it's important for a parent or sibling or someone in the area to allow a child to feel and to talk to them about how they feel and to encourage them to express and understand that emotion. Because comprehending what's happening to you while you're crying, while you're in an emotional state that is out of your control and is a miserable emotional state. It's not fun to be miserable and to be crying and stuff. You're having trouble breathing and your body feels weird and everything sucks. It's important to let that happen sometimes, but also you can distract them out of it, and that's what happens here. And Boji goes, wee, bing, bing, bing. And I love this moment. Hokuro, I'm sorry that you ended up being a traitor too. Let's live our lives in a way that someday Prince Boji will forgive us. I love it. I love it. I love it. Maybe this thing will never happen, but let's live in a way that allows it to happen. Let's live in a way that doesn't cause any more harm. Let's go, Hokuro. That's some good stuff. That's some good stuff there, Hokuro. I like that a lot. And they agree. Yes, Hokuro. Yes, friends. Let us go. And shit gets weird. Oken breaks out. And that is not fucking good. Cool end, too. Whoosh. So sick. Is this the best episode of Ousama ranking so far? No. But it's not in the bottom 3 either. It's back up to where it was to a large extent, and I'm very happy about that. I think the character interactions this episode were great. I think the opportunities to find flashback moments were fantastic, and the amount of lore and background that we actually get from those is really, really cool without answering some of the pivotal questions, right? It's amazing, and it's a huge tell, and it's really interesting that the demon shows up from Oranjo. It confirms some things we had suspected, but it doesn't tell us who the demon is or what their deal is or anything. So it tells us a lot of things, but it keeps all the questions open. And again, Ousama ranking has been top tier in terms of keeping some mystery alive, not just revealing everything. Even though we know our cast of characters and we know a lot of what's going on, we don't know everything, and we know we don't know everything. And that is fantastic. Okay, that's going to be a wrap, everyone. Thanks for watching this week's episode of Ousama Ranking. Sorry that it's a day late, but I hope you've enjoyed it. Coming out nonetheless. Appreciate your viewership. Appreciate you even more if you decided to throw me money via the Patreon, because it helps me stay alive and purchase like food and pay for rent and things. And so that's very, very nice of you to do that, and I appreciate it immensely. Thank you all so very much. I love you all very, very, very much, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. I'm going to, I don't know whether I'm going to edit and render this first or if I'm going to go record Gundam first. We'll see. We'll see. I'll decide in a moment, but I've got more to do today, and I'm going to try to record Gundam as well today because it is Thursday, and that way I get a little bit caught up, and that'll be nice. Okay. See you next week, -1 day, for the next episode of Ousama Ranking. Thanks for watching. Peace.